What is sex positivity? This is a direct quote from AI, from like that Google AI thing that we get on top because I just didn't have the brain function to make my own definition. So this is what it is. Sex positivity is a cultural and psychological framework that views consensual sex as a normal, healthy, and pleasurable part of the human experience. It promotes an open-minded, non-judgmental attitude towards diverse identities, orientations, and desires, while actively working to remove social stigma and taboo. What does the phrase, "my body, my choice" mean? The phrase, "my body, my choice," is a prominent feminist rally cry that signifies bodily autonomy and personal liberty. It asserts that individuals have the fundamental human right to self-determination and decision-making power over their own physical bodies, health, and medical treatments without external interference or state control. So, this obviously applies to abortion rights, but this also applies to back in maybe even the 70s. I'm pretty sure, the 70s, this was still a thing. Women couldn't sign off on their own medical procedures. They needed consent from the husband. So this is a very, very important phrase, and it's why it's so prominent still today. It's because women should have the right to choose what happens to their bodies. But this can also be used, it's such a vague phrase that it can be used for anything. It could be used when you want to get a tattoo and your mom says no. It could be used when you want to get a haircut and your husband says no. It could be used when it could be used for a lot of things. It could also be used for sexual liberation. It's a way to say that I can choose who I want to do it with, what I want to do, and how I want to do it. So it came about for women to fight about making decisions for their own body, especially in terms of medical, in the medical field, but it could be used for a lot of things. Now we have to talk about who is Bonnie Blue. Bonnie Blue is an adult entertainer whose claim to fame is having intimate relationships with as many men possible in one single setting and day. It is exactly what it sounds like. These challenges include sleeping with just over 1,000 men in 12 hours, sleeping with 2,000 men in a day, etc. You understand the gist. As of recently, Bonnie Blue has become pregnant, and to celebrate, she is hosting a golden baby shower. This is a play on words, and if you remove the word baby from golden baby shower, it takes on a whole new meaning. If you don't know the meaning, to put it frankly, she is hosting a baby shower where men get to urinate on her for pleasure, as well as engage in other adult acts, hence the golden aspect of her shower. Again, this is to celebrate her pregnancy. She's inviting anyone from the public to join her in doing so. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is disgusting and morally reprehensible. On top of me being angered at her for planning and promoting this abhorrent event, I am upset at how she is defending it. She is using progressive messaging and terms in order to justify her disgusting behavior. This is why I brought up sex positivity and the term and phrase "my body, my choice," because Bonnie Blue is weaponizing these sentiments and statements when in my opinion neither apply to her situation. She went on an interview in the UK promoting this event, and when the interviewer outwardly showed disgust and apprehension, Bonnie jumped at her own defense by saying something around the lines "it's my body, my choice." She's right. She can do this if she really wants to. An unborn fetus does not have individual rights separated from the pregnant person in the UK. So legally, she is all good. But I don't believe legality matters when you're arguing the morals and ethics of it. In my personal opinion, once a woman has decided that she wants to carry the pregnancy to full term and ultimately raise the child, the responsibility to protect the child starts there, even if it's an unborn fetus. Sacrifices must be made in order to sustain the health of said unborn child. It's why many women give up things like alcohol, raw fish, intense workouts, deli meats throughout their whole pregnancy. If they get sick or harmed, it can greatly affect the baby. Let's say a pregnant woman gets sick from eating a cold cut sandwich. While adults may only experience mild flu-like symptoms, a listeria infection can cross the placenta and lead to devastating consequences for the developing baby. This includes miscarriage, premature birth, stillbirth, or even severe newborn illnesses. Another example is women don't drink alcohol because it directly interferes with fetal development. The alcohol passes through the placenta and into the mother's bloodstream. This can cause, or I should say the baby's bloodstream. Well, I don't know. Either one is correct. This can cause lifelong physical and mental disabilities. So when we see women engaging in these acts, we get upset, and rightfully so. And I don't think we would accept that the my body, my choice sentiment if they used it, even though it still applies. It is still their body. They can eat whatever they want, but should they? And they are not like legally accounted for. I don't think there's any legal. Let me check. I could check this right now. Is it legal to drink while pregnant? I hope you enjoy that beautiful song. Yeah, see, no federal laws in the United States make it explicitly illegal for a pregnant woman to drink alcohol. So a lot of these things women are free to do, but should they do it? I don't know. Okay, so how does this relate to Bonnie Blue? Because obviously sex is kind of different than eating deli meats. Oh my god, I don't know what's going on with my voice. Obviously, having sex is different than eating deli meats or raw fish or doing intense extreme workouts. I would argue having as many men perform intimate acts on you is a strenuous workout, but whatever. Drinking alcohol is a bit different. Women can have sex during pregnancy. It is completely safe to do so. Bonnie Blue engaging in sex is not the issue. The issue is the amount of it. The issue is that she is planning to have sex with as many strange men as possible, which can ultimately put the baby at risk. Inviting the public to engage in unprotected sex, where coming in contact with bodily fluid is prevalent, is a medical risk. So what I mean by that, I hope she's taking precautions and is having protected sex. But, these are strange men, and she's not, vetting these guys. These guys are just showing up. She's opening it up to the public. So there's not, a ticketed event. There's not, an invite only. There's not, a registration, I don't believe. So bodily fluids, obviously, during intimate acts are prevalent. And this causes medical risks, like STIs. And STIs, which is, chlamydia, syphilis, herpes, gonorrhea, stuff like that. STIs contracted during pregnancy can lead to congenital issues. And what that means is this affects the body development of a fetus. Some examples include bone deformity, I can't say the word bone. What? Bone deformation, blindness, central nervous system defects, and other devastating disabilities. In this case, I don't believe it's her body, her choice, not when it poses real-life risks for the unborn fetus. My body, my choice is meant to represent full autonomy over one's body in terms of medical decisions and obviously sometimes sexual liberation. It can apply to sex. However, if you're pregnant, you're also responsible for the development and creation of an unborn life. It's not just about your wants anymore. Unprotected sex with strangers is not safe for the unborn fetus. Let's talk about the sex positivity of it all. I don't think that there is anything wrong with women engaging in safe sex with a partner. I don't think that there is anything wrong with wanting to be urinated on for pleasure. I don't believe Bonnie is trying to destigmatize either stances. I think she is using them to her advantage to enhance shock value which actually in turn adds more stigma surrounding these two topics. Shock garners attention, therefore she gets money for this whole event. This is not sex positivity, this is degeneracy. Being pregnant is a vulnerable time for a person, and I don't think there is anything positive about being that vulnerable and having hundreds of men pee on you as well as perform other acts to then post online for money. If the whole goal is money, then that doesn't feel positive. It feels exploitative, even if the exploitation is self-inflicted. The sex positivity movement and the term my body, my choice are progressive terms that have great meaning. They are used to help people gain self-autonomy as well as release shame surrounding self-expression. Bonnie Blue's usage of them does nothing to uplift the cause. She only hinders it. She only uses these terms to undermine her actions and discredit backlash. She uses these terms to disguise her decisions as progressive and empowering, when in reality it is only for capital gain. Just because there is a lot of money involved does not mean it's empowering. Just because she wants to do it doesn't mean she should. When Bonnie Blue uses these terms, she gives these stances a bad flavor. People already opposing these liberal beliefs use Bonnie Blue as an example why these terms are just used to promote perverted ideals. That is not true. Getting peed on by a strange man while pregnant for millions to view is not what most people promote when they say they are sex positive or that women should have full control over bodily autonomy. They want consenting adults to engage in safe activity that make them feel good. They want adults to be able to make decisions for themselves. They want women to make medical and sexual decisions that allow them to be safe, healthy, and empowered. The golden baby shower is not that case. Thank you.